It's Swain Event time!
My man.
It is time for the Swain Event, fueled by Dead End Barbecue. This is real sports talk for the real sports fan. Talk to him, Swain.
Get into his house and a Ric Flair.
It is Tuesday. It is October the 21st, and it also is the best day of the week. A interesting week this week on Rocky Top. Wouldn't expect anything different. I'm Jason Swain, live from the Low T Center studio, lowtcenter.com. Ben McKee set to join from Go Vols 247. Really great to have Ben McKee back with us. And, boy, he picked the perfect time to come back. Tennessee falls to Alabama on the road, 37-20. During the course of this month, there have been reports about the San Francisco Giants and Tony Vitello, Tennessee's head baseball coach, and it's been an ongoing thing for a couple of weeks. But Saturday, it got a little bit more serious when reports surfaced, I want to say probably 4 hours or so before the start of the Tennessee-Alabama game, that things were getting more serious, moving closer and closer to a deal. And here we are on Tuesday, and as of 8:05, we don't have a deal with Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants. I've been talking to Ben McKee about the situation. I've been talking to multiple people about the situation. We'll get to that with Ben, because I know he has a lot to add to the conversation. A lot of people have some very, very strong opinions about what needs to happen, what's happening, and make no mistake that Tony Vitello is one of the best things about Tennessee athletics. He's a national champion. He breathes life into this city, this program, to our university. What he has done with baseball is nothing short of remarkable. He's turned casual baseball fans, casual Tennessee baseball fans, into fanatics. He's won at a high level. That doesn't look like it's going to stop anytime soon. Tony continues to recruit the best of the best. And his baseball program is in position for another run at a World Series. He was at practice yesterday. Everyone's on Tony Vitello watch. There's been some speculation about why we are in this position and why Tony Vitello might leave, and some finger pointing that's going on. And I'm sure we will get to that when Ben McKee joins, because I want to have this conversation with him. At the end of the day, man, Tony Vitello has an opportunity to do something that's never been done before, and that's go from college to pros. And the timing is all weird, too, because the start of the collegiate baseball season is now. And the end of the MLB season is right around the corner. And so if you're the Giants, of course you want to have your guy. But if you're Tennessee, we got a season right now, Ben McKee. And so here we are, Ben. Never is a dull moment here on Rocky Top, my brother. And, man, it's good to see you. Sorry about your Steelers, but it's good to see you, man. Good morning. Hold on. I don't have you. I don't have you, man. I guess you're a little rusty. We gotta get you. Try to unplug it and plug it back in. See what's going on. Or maybe that's on.
No, I had myself muted.
There
My
you go.
bad.
There you go. It helps.
I am
unmute
rusty.
yourself. Yeah, there you go.
I am very rusty. I apologize for that. Good morning. How are you?
I'm good, man. I am good. Considering what's happened the last couple of days, I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm chilling, man. I think when you look at the Alabama game and what happened there and where Tennessee football is, and then you look at the situation with Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants, I think it's only fair to start right there with Tony Vitello and the San Francisco Giants, because this thing could change in the next 5 minutes. it could change in the next 10 minutes. So, man, you're talking about a national champion head coach with the opportunity to do something special, man, and that's go to the San Francisco Giants as a manager, not for some rinky-dink organization, but one of the best organizations in the MLB. And so as of 8:10 on Thursday, I'll just give you the floor. Where are we with Tony Vitello, Tennessee, and San Fran Giants?
From my understanding, Tony is still going through the decision-making process, or at least waiting to hear back from the San Francisco Giants to finalize a decision one way or the other. So I think at least that the last that I heard, the ball was in the Giants' court, and they were making decisions on how they wanted to proceed. And I think at that point, once they get back to Tony and his representation, then Tony will have a decision to make. But as of last night when I went to bed, which was very late, there had been no decision that had been made. So as far as I understand, we're still in wait-and-see mode at the moment. I am curious to see if the dominoes now start to fall now that the World Series has been decided, with the Blue Jays beating the Mariners last night in Game 7 of the ALCS. It's not a hard rule, but it's kind of an unwritten rule that teams do not announce managerial hires while playoff series are ongoing. So this time of year, you typically see managers announced in between the championship series concluding and the World Series beginning, and you also see them announced after the World Series. So that's just kind of a known thing, and that's just my curiosity. Nobody has suggested that to me, that is going to happen, but I am just, again, kind of knowing that unwritten rule, and that unwritten rule is talked about a bunch. Like it's out there. I'm not breaking any news here or divulging secrets or anything. Like it's a thing in Major League Baseball. So I am curious, just knowing that if things start to get going here. But again, last I heard, there was still kind of a decision-making process going on. But from my understanding, the ball was more in the Giants' court than Tony Vitello's court.
So basically, the Giants said, "Hey, we want you," and Tony is saying, "Hey, these are things that I need or I want in order for us to take the next step." And the Giants, they're thinking it over, and they'll get back to Tony, and then Tony's gonna make a decision on whether or not he wants to take that next step.
Yes, and I do believe it is related to the contract. Now, that does not mean that, okay, if the Giants meet those things, that's an automatic yes. that has not been suggested to me. So I don't want people to take that or think that I am implying that, okay, if the Giants check off these boxes, then that automatically means he is gone. But yes, that is a perfect summary of my interpretation of the current situation is that the Giants are deciding on how they want to proceed, and then Tony will have a final decision to make, I believe, once that happens.
All right, Ben, there is a narrative out there that is blaming NIL, blaming something that Tennessee could be doing better for the reason why Tony Vitello may leave. And I think it's in everyone's best interest to remind themselves that an MLB team, one of the best franchises in the MLB, is knocking on your door and wanting to hire you. So I think that needs to be kind of in the front of everyone's brain here, mine here, is if Tony Vitello leaves, it's because that's a heck of an opportunity. It's an unbelievable opportunity. But there's a narrative that is being repeated. You can call it a rumor that Tony wants more for his NIL. You look at the landscape of Tennessee athletics versus some of the other athletic programs around the country. You got football that's good. You got men's baseball obviously is good. Men's basketball is good. Women's basketball means a lot to the University of Tennessee and Pat Summitt and her legacy. So you're trying to get that back to a place where we want it all to be. You got softball. You got all these sports that are good. Now everybody's not getting a piece of the rev share equally, but you do have Title IX that you have to account for, and you want to win. You want to continue to win and be in everything school, but there's a narrative that NIL is being taken from one sport, and it's something that baseball, Tony Vitello is not too thrilled with. With all that you've seen, what I've just said, your take on that narrative.
Well, it's a big narrative, and there are layers to it. Do I believe that Tony wants more for his program? Absolutely. He's a college baseball coach, and college baseball does not generate money. There's not a college baseball coach in the country that doesn't want more rev share, that doesn't want more NIL money. That is a fight that every college baseball coach in the country, maybe outside of two or three, and I'm thinking Jay Johnson for sure at LSU is in a very, very comfortable situation. But I imagine even he has to stand on a table at times because we know what LSU football is. Now, the benefit that Jay Johnson has, and I think one part that people are forgetting that is a blessing and a curse that works against Tony is that Jay Johnson doesn't have to worry about men's basketball or women's basketball. Well, women's basketball, I guess, with Kim Mulkey, he does have to worry about. But like with men's basketball, he doesn't really have to worry about those resources going to the program like the way they're going to Tennessee's men's program. Kind of same situation at Mississippi State. Mississippi State baseball doesn't really have to worry about their basketball programs the way that Tony does. And I say worry in a complimentary way because Tennessee's men's and women's teams are successful and there are high expectations. I hope people understand what I am saying. So there's only a handful of college baseball coaches at most that don't have to really stand on the table. And I think even those handful, Jay Johnson, Jim Schlossnagle at Texas, O'Connor, who just went from Virginia to Mississippi State, maybe early. at Texas A&M because it's A&M. Excuse me, I'm getting over a cough. Early in that oil money, maybe like they don't have to really stand on the table as much, but every other college baseball coach has to. So does Tony want more? Absolutely. Does he go about it in an aggressive manner at times? Yes. We see how he manages on game day. That's who he is 24/7. That's not a front. So could there be times where Tony could handle it better? I'm sure. Is he not afraid to speak his mind? Of course. Does that rub people the wrong way at times? Yes, but that's also kind of what makes him great and why so many boosters over the years have bought into his program and been willing to give to his program because he is such a great salesman. So there's some give and take there. Do I think that the Lady Vol program is getting more rev share? I do believe that. Now it's hard to pin somebody down and get a firm answer on that, but that is a program at times that has generated money or come close to at least breaking even, and that is also a historical program. So do I believe that there's some – I know the rumors are kind of running wild right now, and the internet is running wild with the Danny White and Tony Vitello relationship and NIL. Again, does Tony want more? Absolutely. Is it in a bad place? I don't think it's in a bad place, and I don't have reason to believe that his program is just completely being screwed over or something along those lines. I also don't believe that the relationship between the two is as bad as social media and message boards are making it out to be. Are they swapping Christmas cards or booking vacations together? No. Do they have totally different personalities? Yes. But if Tony Vitello takes the San Francisco Giants job, I have not heard of any reason to believe that it would be because of Danny White. Is NIL frustrating to deal with? Yes. Do I think it could play a role in his decision making? I think it could, but I think it's just more the overall practice of NIL that has grown frustrating rather than something that Tennessee is doing wrong, having to deal with agents, having to go back to boosters to ask for more money because LSU and Texas and Mississippi State are the bar, and you're trying to get to the bar, and you're having to go back and back and back to ask for more and more and more. That's tiresome. So I think just the overall practice of NIL is frustrating rather than something Tennessee is doing wrong. I have not heard anything that would suggest that if Tony were to leave for the Giants, it's because of Danny White or it's because of Tennessee's NIL situation. It's because I believe he's enamored with the opportunity with the San Francisco Giants and what that could bring down the road.
As you should. 865-255-03. I'm going to get to the phones. Tell us where you're calling from, who you are, and the topic right now is Tony Vitello, Tennessee baseball, and that's the topic right now. We're going to, at some point, move to Tennessee-Alabama game, but right now it is Tony Vitello, Tennessee baseball. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys.
Good morning, Turkey Man.
Hey, first of all, Ben, I've been praying for you, buddy. We've been missing you, and sure good to see you. And I want you to know that you missed a lot. And I am glad that you're back at this moment, this time, to talk about this topic, which is really close to my heart. You know, I love baseball. And so, first of all, good to see you, my man. I hope everything's going well with you.
Thank you, Turkey Man. I appreciate that. I hope things are going well for you as well. I appreciate you.
Yeah. First of all, I want to talk to baseball. I really, I hate to see Tony go if he leaves. I thought the way I read on Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it now, that it was a done deal, and the way I gathered the information that was there. But I look at the situation here as a person like Tony. We know greatness when we see it. You have an opportunity. He's going to be good and great wherever he goes, I'm sure. But I look at Pat Summitt. If she had made the change and left us as a coach, we would not have seen what we've seen in the ladies' basketball. They're trying to replace it. We see that. We see them programs all over. And what comes to my mind right now, guys, I think and I'm not jumping ship here on football, but I'm taking the situation. We're going to be playing Kentucky. Kentucky had a situation here. They allowed Brian Bryant to lead their program. I mean, history tells about this. And chose another program, and they're still struggling. Both ways.
Turkey man, what?
I hope Tony,
Tony
does
here?
what he wants to do. I know that Tony, a coach like Tony, you just get him every once in a while. Now, where Tony goes, he needs to go where he wants to go. But I'm just saying, I hate to see him go because you ain't going to replace him.
No.
You can't go up. It ain't the Nico situation here. You can't replace a Tony. Tony comes along every once in a while. A Brian Bryant comes along every once in a while. A coach like that, you see him every once in a while.
Yeah, Turkey man.
That's one of.
I'm with you, Turkey man.
I want the best for Tony, but I also know that you ain't just going up and replace him. And just don't do that.
No,
good to see you, my man.
You're right, Turkey man, and I appreciate the phone call. Good morning.
Good morning, man.
Good morning.
Hey, guys. Ben,
Vol
good
Patriot.
to see you, man. Yes, sir, Vol Patriot. Good to see you, Swain.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, man. Ben, I just want to let you know, man, me and Ball Nation, we've been praying for you, man, and it's really good to see you. Good to wake up and see that you're on the show, and, just praying for you and your family, man.
Thank you. I appreciate it. You and your pops have been awesome to me during this time, and I greatly appreciate it.
Of course, man. You guys are like family, man. So I'll never forget all those years ago meeting you guys and, how receptive you guys were to Tennessee fan base. So that goes a long way with us, man. So, there's a couple things I wanted to bring up regarding, Tony Vitello, man. I actually didn't start watching baseball until he got there. For me, I keep up with baseball. I'm kind of an Atlanta Braves fan from back in the day, back when Chipper Jones was there. But when Tony got there, he actually made baseball pretty interesting. I started watching that, and he brought relevancy to our baseball team. So for him to get this opportunity, man, it's a big deal. And, I hope he knows that a good bit of, I'd like to say majority of the fan base is supporting him. He's got a great opportunity to do something. If he chooses it, if he doesn't, we should be behind him. He got us a title, and, that's something we didn't have years ago. So just a little mention there. And yeah, man, shout out. I want to give a shout out to Turkey Man. Turkey Man, I actually hadn't seen him in maybe about 10 years. I actually came up to, Dead End Barbecue to see you guys, and I didn't bring a jacket.
Turkey Man was there.
Huh?
Yep. Turkey Man was there.
Yeah, he was there, man, and I didn't bring a jacket that day, and it was freezing, and he actually gave me his jacket, man. So just a little shout out to Turkey Man, and
Turkey Man,
appreciate y'all.
Good people, man. Good people. Vol Patriot, you got anything else, my man?
No, man, that's it, man. That's all I'm talking about.
All right, well,
This is the show.
appreciate you. We gotta keep it moving, man. We got some people on hold. Thanks for the phone call, buddy. All right, good morning.
Yo.
Hello, is it Shamel?
Yeah, man.
Good morning, sir.
What's up, fellas, man? As soon as I heard the news of Tony Vitello, the only person I can think of was being the first person I thought of was you, B. you've been like the damn pioneer for our baseball. You know what I'm saying? It started with you, like making it, you know, big as it is. I remember the first time I took a picture with you. Remember when I tore my Achilles? And I took a picture with you. He's like, why you want to take a picture with me? I ain't nobody, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dog, you him, dog. Just wait. You know what I'm saying? And you fast forward down, and, like, your career is just ridiculous, you know, and God tests us through things that we, you know, once we reach certain heights, we get tested by certain things, and you get an ultimate test. But I think you're a warrior. You'll battle through, and we got your back, dog. And yeah, when we took that picture with you, dog, I'm like, dog, you know, man, you're gonna be him, dog. And you know, fast forward now, it's just like, wow, like you him. This baseball stuff is like your baby, and it's been your baby. You made people pay attention to it. I love baseball myself, even when you start talking about it, but just when you start giving us all the information about it, and you know, it's almost like a segment on the show where you talk about baseball, and I loved it because I'm a baseball fan. I mean, you know, my boys play. You know, I love the game. It's like it kind of almost took over for me for football at one point because I just was so in love with baseball, learning the ins and outs and the game inside the game inside the game. It's like crazy. But yeah, man. So I hope everything plays out. There's no replacement, like Turkeyman said. There's no replacement, Tony. The charismatic, the boldness, the brash, being able to walk into these parents' homes and get these kids that we never thought we could get. It's gonna be tough. It'll be tough. It's a job that people will be attracted to now more than before. But you know, it's gonna be a tough little, you know, if it does happen. But I just want to give Ben his flowers. When I gave him his flowers back then, he didn't want to take them.
He taking them now. He's taking them now, Tramel. So thank you for calling in. And,
I love you,
and
Ben, man. I love y'all, man. And y'all keep it going, bro.
Hey, appreciate you, Tramel. 865-255-03.
I appreciate you, Tramel. You're being too kind. I will quickly say that you're giving me way too many flowers. Max Ferguson and Connor Pavoloni and Will Heflin and Garrett Crochet, those guys helped. Jordan Beck, Drew Gilbert, those guys helped to make Tennessee baseball what it is today. Not me. I just have an interest for baseball and kept up with it, and the fan base grew because of what they were doing on the field, not because of anything I was doing. But I do appreciate your well wishes and thinking of me. And if Tony leaves, just to go off real quick, Swain, off of what kind of Turkey Man I think was hinting at and what Tramel was getting at there, like the baseball program is going to be all right, even if Tony leaves. Is there going to be a step back? I mean, probably. He's arguably, him and Jay Johnson are the two best college baseball coaches in the country. And he's about to become the first college coach potentially to make that jump from college to the San Francisco Giants, not the Tampa Bay Rays, the San Francisco Giants to the big leagues. So, like, there's going to be a natural drop-off. But if it's Josh Elander, like, Tennessee will be equipped to continue to have success. All these resources that have been pumped into the program, they're not going anywhere. If Tony leaves, the stadium's not going back to the way it looked if Tony leaves. So, like, the program's gonna be in a position to where it can have success because of what Tony built. So, it'll be okay. It'll sting. Obviously, Tony's great, but they'll still be positioned to have success.
So the overreaction online has, I mean, not surprising a reaction, but it's been a little discouraging because you look at, you take a step back and you look at the total picture, and Tennessee has the best athletic program in the country, where you've had two associate ADs plucked away to go be ADs. It's healthy as it has ever been. Got multiple sports winning and competing. And there's this assumption that Tony Vitello has not been given what he wants, given resources throughout his time here. And he is the second highest paid coach in the country. And the only reason he's not the number one highest paid is because Jay Johnson just won a championship, so they bumped his pay up by $50,000. The coaching staff is well compensated. The stadium renovations, I mean, that speaks for itself. I see comments like, give him whatever he wants. And I'm like, nope, you don't even mean that. That is, no one gets whatever they want. Danny doesn't get whatever he wants when he asks. I've heard about some of his ideas and what he wants to do on campus. He's going to be told no by the people that he worked for. Josh Heupel's going to be told no. No one gets whatever they want. Tony Vitello shouldn't get whatever he wants. Nobody gets whatever they want. But Tony Vitello should be equipped with enough resources to go and win at the highest level. And I feel like he has been given those resources. Does he want more? Absolutely. Ben, you said it. Every baseball coach wants more, because the sad reality is baseball programs don't make money around the country. And it hasn't been taken as seriously as it needs to be with some of the exposure that it gets on television. We've had conversations throughout the last couple of years about why this game is not on TV. Why is it here? Why do you have to stream it? Why is it not on prime time? Tony has brought more attention to the game of baseball here in Knoxville than anybody. And he's made college baseball more interesting with how he has coached Tennessee and the way he has coached Tennessee. But there always has to be a bad guy and a good guy, it seems like. And folks have pulled out the pitchforks on Danny White. And I honestly do not understand that line of thinking.
Well, it's because they've pulled out the pitchforks because there's a lot of misinformation out there about Danny and Tony's relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. They're not trading Christmas cards. Honestly, I would give them both advice. I would want them to trade Christmas cards. I understand that wasn't Danny's hire, but at the same time, here's a guy that's winning at a high level, and he brings athletic. He makes the athletic department better, and we're getting players, and he's winning. And so, yeah, personality-wise, maybe a little bit different, but I would want those two guys to meet more in the middle on some things. But that's just me talking. But there's, like you said, there's been a lot of miscommunication out there, and to think if Tony Vitello were to leave to go coach the San Francisco Giants, there are folks who would want Danny White fired. Now, what sense does that make? Now, how dumb is that?
It's crazy.
How dumb is that? You got the best AD in the country, and part of trying to make sure all these sports are winning and trying to make sure that all these sports are getting the resources they need in this time of college athletics where nothing is certain. There are no rules. Everything is you building the plane as you fly it. You're trying to manage the best way you can. And you want to get rid of Danny White? That just makes no sense to me. I understand how important Tony is, and man, he's important, and I want him to stay. But if he were to go, it's because the Giants is a heck of an opportunity.
That's what people are failing to realize. It's that simple. It's that simple, and people want to find somebody to blame as to why he would be leaving. There's nothing within reason that Tennessee could do to make him stay. You know, that's always the popular comment that gets thrown out is Tennessee needs to do whatever it takes to make Tony stay. I hear that from the fan side, and I understand the fans saying that, but Tony's interest in the Giants stems because it's a big league manager job, and it's the San Francisco Giants, and he's enamored with the thought that he could become the first person ever to win a college World Series and a Major League World Series. He's not interested in the Giants because the Lady Vols are getting more rev share. He's not interested in the Giants because he doesn't have a good relationship with Danny White, or he and Danny White are about to fist fight all the time in the athletic facility. It has nothing to do with any of that. Now, when he's going through the decision-making process, are there pros and cons that he is listing out? Sure. Like I said earlier, I think he's tired of dealing with NIL. I think he's tired of dealing with players' agents. I think he's tired of having to go back and ask for more and more to boosters when he's recruiting against the likes of LSU. But that's the practice of NIL and how frustrating NIL is to deal with in today's day and age of college athletics. It's
every
not
coach is dealing with that in every sport.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
You're gonna deal with players agents who want more.
Yes.
You're gonna deal with that. Yeah.
So it's as I trust what I hear when it comes to baseball, and I have not heard anything to suggest, even before the Giants popped up, that his relationship with Danny White is driving him away. It's always been communicated to me that they have a fine working relationship, that I believe Tony recognizes that Danny White and Tennessee have pretty much given him everything that he needs. That doesn't mean it's picture perfect. Again, it's the baseball program, not the football program, but it's always been communicated to me that they have a fine working relationship. It could certainly be better, like you mentioned, Swain, but they eventually get things done. And I do believe that Tony recognizes, even when he's been going through this decision-making process with the Giants, that Tennessee has essentially given him everything that he needs. So there's a lot of misinformation out there, I think, because folks are looking for a reason as to why Tony would want to leave such a picture-perfect situation. And I think they're just not, it's not clicking for them that it's the San Francisco Giants and it's a heck of an opportunity at the next level.
I'm going to go to the phones. I got two callers. We'll take a break, come back, talk about Tennessee-Alabama game and Tennessee football. Moving forward, Tennessee, Kentucky this week. Good morning.
Good morning, guys. How we doing?
Good, man. How are you? Who are we speaking with?
This is Justin in Florida.
Oh,
Ben,
Justin.
how you doing, man?
What's up, man?
I'm doing
Ben,
well. How are
doing
you?
well?
Good to hear from you, my friend.
Good. Yeah, praying for it, brother.
Thank you.
So I keep hearing this percentage of rev share. Can you guys for a second explain to me, like, what that exactly means? I think everyone uses it, but what exactly comprises rev share for the athletics department?
Well, good luck getting anybody to give you a firm answer, because you're not going to get a firm answer over there.
Yeah,
but
I haven't heard a concrete number.
Yeah.
On who.
Yeah, and I think, and the reason I'm bringing that up is I think that's kind of part of the problem is everyone just hears, hey, it's this giant bucket of money. Don't know where it comes from, how we get there. So if it's a percentage of rev share, everyone's trying to put like a hard number on it. We don't know what that amount is, because if it's like a percentage of what the university's bringing in, which revenue, and you're sharing in a percentage of that revenue that's coming in, I mean, that number's going to fluctuate.
That's what rev share means.
Right. I mean, unless there's, they just named it something, but it means something else. I don't know. But one thing I heard yesterday in all the vitriol and hate on Twitter was I constantly heard Danny White being blamed not just for Tony, but this is also about raising ticket prices. Won't ticket prices going up also increase revenue?
Yeah, for everybody else. Mm-hmm.
So if baseball is getting percentage of that number going up and all sports being successful, does that necessarily mean that you may not have the same amount of money as some of these other programs that say, hey, we'll give you a higher percentage of revenue, but Tennessee, because all sports are doing well and successful, More people go to Lady Vols games. I mean, the other thing I wanted to ask is, why does, and I understand people were upset about, Lady Vols maybe getting a higher percentage than baseball. Why don't we take it from football? Why don't we take it from men's basketball?
Hey. Well, you know the answer to football, Justin.
I know the answer. I know the answer to all of it. What I'm getting at is we also have to kind of spread the wealth and, do this on a percentage basis. I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'd be surprised if Josh Heupel and Rick Barnes behind a closed door aren't going, well, damn, how come, those sports are getting this when we're the ones making money? Maybe it's not as public. Maybe it's, their personalities to, be quiet about it. And I'm not saying that Tony's outspoken, but we can all agree Tony's probably more outspoken than those two coaches. I just think it's a complicated formula, and what they're saying is, baseball, you're getting a percentage of this. I hear a percentage of this, and that number, let's make it as big as we possibly can. Let's get every single sport, every single ticket that gets sold goes to that revenue number. Let's make that as big as we can, as a university. I mean, hell, if that's what the case is, let's drop another 30,000 seats in, Neyland somehow. Let's just keep making that bigger, and then the number grows by. Am I wrong on that?
There's a cap that every school has to operate under, if I'm not mistaken, right? And it gets bigger.
Okay, so there's a cap on it.
So rev share. There's I think it's like $20-something million last time. It's been so long since we've had this conversation because football season is going on. But that number is going to grow year in and year out, and so everyone has to kind of operate under that cap, $20.5 million.
Okay. So there is a cap to it. Wasn't aware. That's why I was asking.
4% in the following 2 years, and then be reevaluated every 3 years as part of that 10-year settlement. So there is a cap you have to work under. That $20.5 million is what it is right now. But there's NIL that can be raised, which Tony's doing a good job raising NIL, and that can be used to supplement what the rev share number can't pay these players that need to be paid. Just like it's important that Tennessee got the Adidas deal because the NIL is going to supplement. So there's two ways these guys can get paid, these girls can get paid, rev share, and then there's NIL. And I know for a fact that each program is, especially the ones who have a chance to win a championship, man, they're being provided with the resources to go win a championship. I'm sorry, but we didn't lose to Arkansas in the series because something wrong with the rev share number. And you won the championship the year before. Does that mean you had better rev share the year before than it was taken away? I mean, at some point we got to look at, players playing and coaches coaching. And just because you have the most doesn't guarantee you a win. Like, we can look around college football. We can look around basketball. We can look at basketball right now. Kentucky has a $22 million roster. You can say, oh, they're going to win it because they spent the most money in NIL. But it's not guaranteed. So just because it's a little bit lower than this school, a little bit lower, you can still beat that school. You can still win a championship. You got to play your best. You got to worry about what's in your backyard. And if you always try to get more, or have more than everybody else, I just think the focus is not going to be in the right place, and you're going to be engaged in this arms race, and it's never going to be enough. It's never going to be good enough if you focus on that all the time. It's never going to be good enough.
So what I just heard is you've got the rev share piece of it, which is a percentage and it's capped, but there's also NIL. So we can make up the difference. If there's a player that Tony needs, they can say, hey, this is the guaranteed bucket of money you got for this. And then, NIL-wise, we can also go outside of that and go get this guy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So I'm kind of, I don't know.
I mean, and Justin, man, thank you for the phone call, my brother. It's good
Yeah.
to hear from
Yeah,
you.
I'm hopping off.
Ben, tell me, man, because I've been checking social media. Ain't we recruiting at a high level in baseball right now?
Yes.
Oh, where we ranked? Because every
Now,
time I turn around, it's like this.
No,
top
I don't think
player.
it's because of NIL though.
It's because Tony Vitello is the best coach, and guys are going to the next level.
It's
and
because
winning championships and competing for championships, right? It's a combination, ain't it?
Yep, recruits love Tony Vitello and the coaching staff. They're getting developed and sent to the league, and they're winning. And I think you hit the nail on the head in your response to Justin is, like, could the Lady Vols have more? Sure. Could the football team have more? Sure. Same with men's basketball, same with baseball. But at the end of the day, every program on campus, especially the ones we talk about the most, even softball, they all have the resources to go win a national championship every single year. It's how they take those resources and apply them throughout the calendar year with their evaluations in recruiting, with their development, strength and conditioning program, their coaching, their adjustments, their culture building. That is where the championships are built, because they have all the resources. Swain, what program on campus does not have the resources to go win a national championship?
I mean, honestly, I think out of the major ones, football is behind the other ones. Because personnel-wise, you look at what we saw on Saturday, they could use some more, right? I mean,
right,
so,
but
basketball and baseball, I think women's basketball is getting to that point where they have the resources to win a championship. But the willingness to make sure that football has the resources is there. I know what you're trying to ask me. But
yes.
Yeah, it's there.
Could football have more money? Sure. Football doesn't have Ohio State money or Oregon money. I don't want to insinuate that. But does that next step have more to do with them not having Ohio State money, or them but missing on key evaluations on the defensive side of the football or on the offensive side of the football? And guys not getting, it's year 3 and you got linebackers that ain't gotten better since they were a freshman on campus. Like, which is it? Is it because they don't have money, or guys aren't getting better?
And here's where I stand with Tony a little bit. Tony's the best recruiter in college athletics. I've been standing on this table for years. And the reason why he's the best recruiter, because he sleeps, eats, breathes recruiting. He's on the phones. It matters. Like, because of NIL, you can't allow coaches who may not like the recruiting and like dealing with people say, "Oh, we'll just pay for kids." No, man, that ain't fair. That ain't fair to a real recruiter. That ain't fair to Tony Vitello. You can't have other coaches on other teams being lazy and saying, "Well, I'm not gonna recruit the kid. We'll just pay him more than everybody else." That's not fair to the athletic program, because we're paying more than we need to. You need to be banging them phones. You need to be creating relationships, because if that player comes here and it's because of money and something goes wrong, they're leaving. You got to build relationships. At the end of the day, before NIL and now currently with NIL, recruiting is about building relationships. And so Danny needs to understand, and I'm sure he does, like, don't let these coaches be lazy in recruiting just because we can pay for players. Nah, man, Tony was out here recruiting players with no money, and recruiting players with the rinky-dink stadium before we did the renovations, where you had to bring players around the back and couldn't bring them around the front because it was so embarrassing. So I understand where Tony's coming from a little bit there, but we got to take a break. I got to get to the phone.
It also doesn't work like that. Like, these high-profile recruits that you're recruiting in football or for any sport, they all have similar money offers. it comes down to, at that point, like Tennessee, Alabama, Auburn, like all the money is in the same ballpark. And it comes down to player development and are you winning? And are you putting guys in the league? So to be lazy in recruiting is really just foolish on top of everything you said, because they're getting the same money essentially at these other schools.
Yeah. All right, go back to the phones. Good morning.
Woo! Good morning, guys. Mississippi Ball.
What's up, Mississippi Ball?
Hey, woo, that was a long one. Hey, I got two things to say. Back then, hope you're okay.
Thank you.
What I want to say is, in life, you have opportunities in life, right? This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity with Tony.
Mm-hmm.
No, we don't want Tony to leave.
Nope.
Of course we don't. But it's the San Francisco Giants. If anybody follows MLB baseball, they know the San Francisco Giants are one of the best ran teams.
Oh, we lost you, Mississippi Ball. When I was down in Mississippi, man, my service was a little spotty. All right, Mississippi Ball, try to give us a call back, man.
Call us back during the break.
Yeah, when you get some better service, my man. 865-255-03. Well, maybe this Tony Vitello talk is good.
Well, I tell you, social media has been discouraging for a lot of reasons. I think something that you kind of said earlier that I would emphasize is just kind of the eating of their own has been really discouraging as well. You got Lady Vols wanting to take away from these people, football wanting to cut off all the other programs, some baseball folks wanting to just give Tony anything he wants. I think it's been very discouraging how some are wanting some programs to essentially die and go away.
Yeah, there's a lot of athletic programs around the country, a lot of fans around the country that would die to be in the position that we're in right now. And a lot of us taking it for granted right now. We're talking crazy. 865-255-03 is our telephone number to the Swain Event. That is brought to you by Garza Law and the Garza Law Hotline, or Garza Law Firm. 865-255-03. We'll go to the Beatty Chevrolet text box when we come back. Dan McKee, Jason Swain. Stay with us.
You're listening to the Swain Event.
You don't say.
Fueled by Dead End Barbecue.
Guys, you can feel your energy slipping away, losing what makes you, you. It could be low testosterone. Take action now. Low T Center can help reclaim your energy with a quick and simple free T-test. Visit Low T Center and receive pharmaceutical-grade testosterone never compounded like other clinics. Experienced providers increase your testosterone to the level that is just right for you. Treatment is covered by most major insurance with affordable self-pay options available. The best you is waiting. Book your free T-test at trtmvp.com. When you are craving some quality barbecue, there's only one place to go. Dead End Barbecue. Dead End Barbecue has been featured on ESPN's Taste of the Town, the first barbecue restaurant on the SEC Network, CBS Sports, Headline News Tailgate Show, Amazon Prime's The Restaurant Comeback, Food Paradise, and named one of the top 100 barbecue restaurants in America. The search is over. Dead End Barbecue is located on 3621 Sutherland Avenue right here in Knoxville. You can even have it delivered right to your door through Chow Now. Visit their website at deadendbbq.com. Dead End Barbecue. The search is over.
Out-of-town law firms have been swarming into East Tennessee lately. From Memphis, Chattanooga, and Birmingham, they've stormed into the area. Wouldn't you rather do business with a local firm? You know, a true neighbor. Marcos Garza and the pros at the Garza Law Firm are just that. There are neighbors and friends that support local causes year-round. The Garza Law Firm works to serve you professionally on criminal matters, injuries and accident matters, and Social Security and disability filings. The Garza Law Firm is here for you at garzalaw.com. The Garza Law Firm. Let us help.
Just because you can't call in doesn't mean that you have to sit on the sideline. Impact the show with a text box. It's part of the free Swain Event app.
What's up, Swain Event crew? Jennifer Morris here with Keller Williams Realty. Fall sports can be a roller coaster ride for us fans. The excitement, drama, and passion will make us crazy sometimes. I can't manage the games, but I can help you manage your real estate needs while you're cheering on the Vols. Reach out at 865-694-5904 or contact me at nextmovesmokymountains.com. That's nextmovesmokymountains.com, and go Vols.
All right, let's try to go back to the Garza Law hotline, 865-255-03. Good morning. Hello? Going once, going twice? All right. Like, tweeting Danny White, reminding him that he needs to keep the championship coach on campus, I don't understand the purpose of that. Do we not understand? All right, man. I'm going to.
We've got a good football X's and O's question for you from Ty Fish Vols that just dropped on the text box. Swain, if you could make any adjustment defensively, what would it be? I know we've been short personnel-wise, but what could we do schematically that could help us improve?
And I'm not trying to be a smart butt here when I say this, but knowing the situation, the down and distances better, and playing the down and distances is a start. It's 3rd and 2. We're playing quarter coverage on one side, cover 2 on the other side, and everyone's dropping at 10 to 10 yards. And Ty Simpson drops it off to his tight end, probably threw it a whole yard. And the tight end picks up about 10 to 15 yards on the play. And I'm like, what are we doing? I mean, it's that's frustrating. I could understand not having Jamal McCoy, not having Ricky Gibson, and not having the personnel to play what you want to play, which is more man-to-man. I get it. I understand. And we've seen the young players in there at corner and safety. I think we need to take a hard look this offseason at investing in the secondary, because you can get away with not paying a running back a lot of money. We've done a great job at that. Honestly, Josh Heupel's most successful offenses has been with older quarterbacks that the other team didn't want. So you haven't really knocked the ball out of the park offensively with a high-priced quarterback. But I understand why you got to have them. You got to have ballers at receiver. You got to have offensive linemen. You got to pay for tackles. You got to pay for D linemen. You got to pay for edge rushers. You got to pay for linebackers. Like those are positions you got to pay for.
What position did you not say?
Running back.
Tight end,
quarterback. I mean, you don't have to pay. You don't have to overpay. You don't have to do what Miami did with Carson Beck. But
I hear you. I'm just picking at you.
Yeah, but it's showing with our pass defense. The athletes that we don't have, because it's showing in how we're playing defense. There's a time for bend the break, and there's a time that we just gonna stop you. Like we're not giving you third downs. We'll give you a first down, we'll give you a second down, but like when it's third down, it's time to buckle up. Imagine if we were at home and it's 3rd and 2, and we just drop back like that in coverage after the music plays on the loudspeaker. Everyone's getting all revved up. Third down for what? Third down for what? Yeah, get louder. Let's break a decimal record. Yeah. And then you just give up that easy third down. That crowd is not getting excited again on third down because that was too easy. And so That's the part that's frustrating. The tackling is frustrating. Where we had the trick play bottled up or the special play bottled up, and my man gained 18 yards. That looked like an and one video where hot sauce is crossing up everybody and making them fall. That was embarrassing. Now, I'll say this about the defense. Everybody's pointing a finger at the defense. And I think there's too many fingers being pointed at the defense. Way more fingers pointed at the defense than at the offense. Because last time I checked, the offense, they're not missing an All-American. They're not missing another NFL prospect. 2 starters that went down at the start of the season. One in McCoy that was down before the season. I'm sorry, they did give up a 99-yard drive, and they gave up a 90-something yard drive the first possession, and that stinks, I know. But the offense gave up 9 points. Offense is supposed to pick up the defense more. And the offense has to be better. Again, it's not about good guy, bad guy. I know folks been in that mode lately on social media. It's both. It's all. But you have to play better complementary football. When the defense makes a stop, you got to go down to score. It happened on the first possession of the second half, Ben, when we kicked off to Alabama. Alabama went 3 and out. Deshaun Bishop went on his heater, and we scored a touchdown. We had plenty of opportunities to win the game. And it's not just players. It's not just coaches. It's both. It's all. It has to be better, and it was bad on Saturday. It was not good. There's no sugarcoating it. There's no carrying water. There's none of that. It was bad. It was not good enough, period. You outgained Alabama. Your third down percentage was right there with Alabama. Penalties look like the penalties on the stat sheet doesn't look bad, but it's bad. The pass interferences, third down and long, and we're in good position. There was no reason to pass interfere there. Just none. I mean, the drop passes, the clock management, the play call before the first half ended, it wasn't good enough. It just wasn't. The last 3 games, it hasn't been pretty.
No, it has not. And I mean, there's other things that I found interesting at best as well. I don't understand the rotation along the offensive line early in the football game, forcing maybe Pendleton. It's the injury with his ankle that he dealt with a couple weeks ago, but it seems like they're just trying to force William Satterwhite in there. He plays 3 snaps and they go 3 and out, and he doesn't play the rest of the game. They're rotating Jesse Perry out, and he's not the one that I would be taking out to make room for David Sanders Jr. And they eventually got going. The offensive line did, but their middle of the first half, it was rough, and I think it was because they were subbing guys in and out left and right. To me, I don't like that along the offensive line, quite frankly. And defensively, I mean, you hit the nail on the head. There's not much to add there. I think the linebackers and safeties, it's really hard to watch them play football. It's just the linebackers are constantly out of position, constantly getting washed out of plays, and they don't shed blocks. They don't get off blocks. They miss tackles, too many tackles for SEC linebackers. Some take poor angles and just don't have the athleticism to keep up at times. Like it's a tough watch.
And it wasn't even that bad compared to Arkansas and Mississippi State, because they only had 120 yards rushing. We had 142. But it's for me, it's the situational awareness. It's It's not understanding down and distance. It's those things that drive me crazy. And I have no problem with the effort. We played hard. I was not a fan of Alabama scored a touchdown with their receiver, caught the ball outside the end zone, and ran to the corner. And some of our secondary players, they didn't want to have a collision at the pylon. Like
Trying to hockey check them.
you just let them walk into the end zone. Like I have a big problem with that because you just never know what might happen. You may stop them at the 2-yard line, 1-yard line, or the young man may fumble. Hell, we fumbled out the end zone 2005 because Alabama defender hustled and sprinted and make sure that the ball didn't cross the goal line. Alabama stopped us from scoring at the goal line. So I wasn't a fan of that. I'm sure it looked really bad on film because it did not look good on TV to see, a couple Tennessee secondary players kind of take the foot off the gas when the guy was running towards the end zone, but he wasn't in the end zone yet. And so that's a teaching moment for sure. But offensively, we just got to be better. I mean,
it seemed like do you think they got too pass happy as well?
Well, you kind of had to because you couldn't run the football, and they were playing that shell coverage, playing over the top, and we adjusted to it and started to run the football more efficiently, but we couldn't run the football in the first quarter, and we had to throw it. And that's a defensive lineman's dream, right? You stop the run, make the offense one-dimensional, and then go to work. And I felt like that's what Alabama did to us there in the first quarter. I mean, we had 3 rushing yards. College, they count the sack yardage against you. So there were 2 sacks Alabama had in the first quarter. We had negative 19 rushing yards. But we really had like 3. Kitzelman had a 4th down conversion, and then I want to say Deshaun Bishop had like 2 yards. But we couldn't run the ball in the first half because they were stopping us with a limited amount of guys in the box. And then we made some adjustments and then figured it out. I thought Alabama did a pretty good job of playing cat and mouse with us. There were times when they shaded Chris Brazzell. There were times when they didn't. When they did, Deshaun Bishop got loose in the second half. They were not going to let us beat them over the top with Chris Brazzell. They just wasn't going to do it. And, it worked. Now, this is the second straight game where Braylon Staley played his butt off. He's been awesome. I'm proud of Braylon Staley, man. Mike had a head drop, a big drop on 3rd and long that probably would have converted a first down on that one. And, drops are contagious. And then you had, Kitzelman with a drop, and then Brame had a drop. And so I've said on this program, if you listen to this show for over a decade, I've said it many times, that drops are contagious. And Saturday night was that. But it's not about just beating the rest of your teams in your schedule. It's about playing better and playing to your standard. That needs to be the focus. Because
it doesn't feel like they've gotten better since the start of the season. It feels like they've regressed in a major way.
Well, the competition has been better, and also what you put on film, defenses have had time to see what you're doing and take away things and force you to adjust. I think that's part of it too, Ben.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, but you felt as good as you could feel in a loss coming out of that Georgia game. And it felt like they were in a good position. And, 2 out of your last 3 games were on the road at Mississippi State. That was a tough environment. At Alabama, tough environment. So maybe it's that old adage of never as bad as it seems, never as good as it seems either. And Arkansas does carve up a lot of people on offense. I mean, they took A&M to the wire this past weekend, as we saw, and had even more success against A&M than they did against Tennessee. So again, maybe it's again, that adage of never as good as it seems, like we saw against Georgia, not as bad as it feels at times at Mississippi State, home against Arkansas, at Alabama. But and maybe I am being captive in the moment because that opinion does also stem from, man, Kalen DeBoer has done a great job with his football team, getting better from game one. I don't understand how Alabama looks the way that it does after it looks the way it did at Florida State when guys were tackling like Tennessee was tackling on Saturday night in Tuscaloosa. How has Alabama's defense gotten better at tackling, playing? This hasn't really been a Tennessee issue, but it was for Alabama, playing with effort. They have steadily gotten better each game, from Florida State to Wisconsin to Georgia to Missouri to Tennessee, and it just doesn't feel like – and I know it's emphasized with Tennessee. Josh Heupel talks about it all the time, but, man, it just does not feel like Tennessee's really getting better. It kind of just feels like they're staying the same as the team that we saw against Syracuse and the team we saw against Georgia in the month of September.
Yeah, I mean, that Georgia game was at home. You got to factor that in there. To put up the points you put up on Georgia and then not be able to offensively play like that to a certain extent. Not the same, but not to be able to put up at least 30 points against Alabama is a fail. I mean, to be that different on the road, it's going to be really hard for you to take that next step. And I'm not sitting here saying you have to play the same, but it can't be that big of a difference. And what I mean by that is it's the snowball plays. I'll give you an example. In the first quarter, or in the first half, you had a situation where we threw the screen pass out to the perimeter on the right side of the formation. The ball was caught a yard in front of the line of scrimmage. We had a blocker on the perimeter blocking. That's pass interference. It's offense pass interference. I mean, simple as that. And that's something that you do all the time. That should be like that's like a handoff. You do that all the time. That's part of like page one of your offense. And that killed you. That's not like a simple 5-yard penalty. That's an offensive pass interference. Those are drive killers. And then after that, we get the safety. It's the snowball. It's one bad play coupled with another bad play and then another bad play.
And that was right after you had kind of started to gain some momentum. You had the touchdown early in the second quarter that tied the game. And then, if I'm not mistaken, didn't after the Braylon Staley touchdown, you get a defensive stop, right? And it's a tie game, and then that happens.
Yeah, you get a 3 and out. You don't just get a defense stop, man. You get a 3 and out. So you got some momentum, man. 7-7. You get the 3 and out. You got the ball and safety.
And then they go right down. And I'm not totally blaming the defense. Like, the offense put the defense in a bad spot, especially with the momentum that they allowed Alabama to create with the safety. But to just allow just no resistance either.
I will say this, man. We don't give kickers credit. Tuberville kicked the crap out of that ball on the free kick. Now, I'm not too happy with him kicking the ball out of bounds. But he did redeem himself a little bit by kicking that free kick 67 yards, because after a safety, you're supposed to get the ball minimum at the 40-yard line with a good return, but he kicked it all the way to the 20, and Alabama started their possession at the 31-yard line. So, I mean, I thought that was fantastic by Turbeville. But Alabama went down and scored. It was 16-7. here's the opportunity for us to respond right before the half. You score, it's 14-16. Alabama gets the ball in the second half. What if you get that 3 and out and you score before the first half? And then you throw that in with Deshaun Bishop scoring on the first offensive possession in the second half. Dude, you have the lead.
And you've
you've
put pressure on them.
It's 21-16 if you don't beat yourself. And that's the frustrating part. And listen, man, if you Josh Heupel understands what needs to happen, why it happened, but you didn't get no answer from him in the press conference. Like, you're not going to get it. And this is what I hope he understands. Maybe he doesn't care, and it won't matter if he wins the rest of his games. And this is what Butch did. And I'm not calling Josh Heupel Butch Jones or anything like that. But when a question is asked, especially after a poorly played and poorly coached game, when you don't answer the question, it pisses people off even more. And that was the case yesterday. And listen, Heupel can do the press conference how he wants to. He can do the coach speak all he wants to. Cool, whatever, man. He's been doing it since he's been here, and as long as he's winning, it don't matter. But when you have games like that, and you're asked, hey, man, what are you specifically doing to prevent some of those penalties and some of those miscues? And then you get that answer, it pisses people off around here even worse. Don't piss me off, because I know he knows what he needs to do, and we'll see if those things have been corrected, because you're playing on the road again this week, and it's a night game. Now, the team ain't good, and I know Heupel said Kentucky is a good football team, which you got to say that. That's coach speak. You got to say that the team you're playing is good. You just have to. But the truth is, they're not good. They haven't won an SEC game. They're terrible. And I think you're going to see how well we have bounced back, how well we have tried to fix mistakes from the Alabama game. Because if you don't beat Kentucky the way you're supposed to beat Kentucky, it's going to show that you really haven't fixed those mistakes. If you're making the same ones against Kentucky and they're in the game, we probably need to table the whole college football talk for a little bit.
Well, I would even argue that you haven't learned from your mistakes, because you continue to have the same mistakes in every big-time road environment. So you continue to say that this is a point of emphasis and so on and so forth, but every year when you play the big-time road games, the same issues pop up.
Yes, it's the snowball effect for me. It's not. I mean, you're not gonna play perfect. You're gonna make mistakes, but it's the 4 or 5 on top of each other that swing the game the other way, and then you're just unable to recover. I'm going back to the phones. 865-255-03. Good morning.
Good morning, Jason.
What's up, man? Who we speaking with?
Hey, man, this is Dustin.
Hey, Dustin.
Hey, man, I got 2 quick questions real quick.
Okay, awesome.
And on this football, first of all, man, listen, I know the game's changed, but and I know it's more safety, and I know now they're teaching. I mean, they want us to even teach in Little League. Don't tell them to put their head across the body.
Mm-hmm.
Keep the head out of the tackling. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. Them boys need to start putting their head in the tackling. Okay. I mean, I'm serious, man. This is pitiful. I got an 8-year-old boy. We're sitting there watching the ball game that night. Now, he's excited. I haven't felt good about it all day long, okay? And he's excited. He wants to see Tennessee beat Alabama and Alabama. And we're watching a ball game. Now, I've taught my son how I was taught. You put your head across somebody, you drive them down the dirt, and if your head hits the ground, so be it. You get a little headache, you'll be fine. And, man, he watches that boy hit he said, Daddy, he says, did you see him try to tackle? I said, yeah. He said, he didn't even wrap up. He said, that's my 8-year-old son. And I'm sitting there thinking, them boys making money. And they got a lot of people cheering and invested for them. And they can't give an effort to wrap up. And that's number one. Then number two, when the ball is loose and it's in any kind of question on the ground, what in God's name was that boy doing? Smacking that ball like he was playing ping pong. Boys, we ain't the rec center. You're in a live football game on national television. That ball is loose. It is Tennessee, Alabama. It's third Saturday in October. Go get the freaking ball, son. Pick it up. Hey, do you know we get a 6-point swing on that? Yeah. If he picks that ball up and runs, he's still running. He's Forrest Gump in the movie, son. He's still running through the tunnel.
Yeah.
It's I know we talk about the mistakes and the penalties. That's what makes me frustrated. It's just it's like at some points in time you see some players out there. It's just like they don't give a dang. Okay, and there's a certain player. I'm not gonna mention his name. You know who I'm talking about. Man, he's been beat. He's getting beat, and he seems like he's in lack of interest. And if that's the case, I know we're paying him good money, but he's probably not going to be here next year, so sit his butt on the bench. I mean, enough's enough. And the last thing I want to cover, Jason, we've already covered this. I'm sorry. I had to get this off my chest this morning. I talked about this after the Georgia game. And Ty Redmond's going to be, I have no doubt, he's learning lessons that will be valuable later on down the road. But I ain't got time for later on down the road, okay? We're trying to make college football playoff. That was the goal. Somebody over there that is smarter than me needs to tell that kid, because if I can see it, they can see it. Arion Carter had the inside leverage. They ran a whip route again against him. They ran the whip route. He cuts inside. They go outside. They're playing to the space. Son, you have help on the inside. Play the outside. If he cuts it back, you have to be there to pick the ball like they did on the goal line pass, even though Joey threw it behind him. You have to be there to try to swat it down. Man, he's playing that thing so tight for the slant. He had help. Arion Carter, I went back and watched it. He was sitting right there where if he would have threw the slant, he would have picked the ball. Play outside, man. You're giving them a touchdown when you do that. You're giving them a touchdown. Somebody over got to see that. I mean, am I the only one? Did you see that, Jason? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, I'll be wrong.
No, I have to go back and look at exactly what play you're talking about. But I mean, there's examples of that where you're like, yo, man, why are you doing that? That's just not football intelligent. Yeah, there was several plays.
So let me ask you this: is that the kid? Or is that the coaching accountability? Because see, we want to hold these players to a standard, and I used to be like that person that gets so mad at the kids, but now I'm like, man, you know what? I'm starting to think it's not the kids as much as the grown adults, because it's constant, man. Like kids understand they can't make the same mistake twice, and if they do, they'll get benched. But at some point in time, the coaches, and you were just talking about it. Josh Heupel has to hold accountability in his press conference. Are we holding accountability on the practice field?
Yeah, I said Heupel can say what he wants to. I'm just saying that when he says that, it just pisses people off even more. I mean, if he wants to keep doing that, he can keep doing it. But not answering the question directly when people saw the game. I mean, hey, that's a choice that he's making. But when a player is not doing what they're supposed to do, you either coach it or you allow it. And there are certain circumstances where you may not have someone that is better than that player. And we've seen,
I agree.
We've seen freshman safeties and walk-on corners play in the last two games. And so the message.
Hey, Jason, I've said it all year long, buddy. Name another, because I get so tired of hearing fire Tim Banks. Name another defense in the country that loses two All-American corners, has a nickelback that decided to go crazy during summer, okay? The loss of defensive linemen that you knew you were counting on at the first year, and still be number one in sacks and things of that nature. You won't find another defense that can do it. Matter of fact, and if people want to flip the script, take the best players on offense that we got and see how Josh Heupel does. It won't be the same. I get that, man. But at some point in time, I'm like, somebody help poor Ty Redmond. Give him a tool in his tool bag and tell him, hey, buddy, stay outside on this. Arion Carter's got you on the inside. stay outside.
Well, Dustin, man, you go get you some oxygen, man. And
I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it, man. Thank you. Let's keep it going. Good morning.
Hey, good morning, guys. It's Mississippi Ball again.
Good, man. Good. You sound better.
Yeah, I tried to get in earlier, but, phone call went long. When it comes to our DBs, man, we are what we are. I mean, there is obviously nobody better on the bench, so Timberbane's got to do what he's got to do. But the point I was trying to make earlier when I called about Tony Vitello was, this is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for Tony. Yeah, we want him at Tennessee. We would love to stay at Tennessee. But in life, you got opportunities. It's not like, the Giants, the door is open now. With Giants coming after him, we keep winning at Tennessee, another MLB program is going to come. They're going to continue to come. But he may not get the same opportunity as, going to the Giants instead of the Yankees 3 years down the road, So take the job. I mean, I'm happy for him if he take the job. I love it if he stay, but, take the Giants job, man. We should be behind him 100%. He's brought a championship to a sport that was not really relevant in Tennessee. So, man, it's hard to pass up a job opportunity like that. And I wish fans would understand that. And, rumors start by a misconceived lie. And they just spread it and spread it. After a loss on a Saturday and all that, all Twitter is unbearable. So I kind of stay off of it, so I don't even listen to the rumors anymore. But if Tony takes this job, we got to understand that it was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and I'm going to hang up and listen.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ball. Let's get one more in. Good morning.
Hey, guys. This is Ricky B. in West Knox. How are you?
What's up, Ricky B?
Hey, guys. I just wanted to comment on a couple things you guys have said. I'm glad you did that long segment on the football team, Jason, when you were kind of talking about things just are, we have a game that we haven't been playing well, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. And then all of a sudden, it doesn't look like we do anything to improve. It kind of takes me back to the end of the Fulmer coaching staff, I guess, where we kind of went, I guess, a little more kind of like what we're doing right now, where we're just not playing very well. We're not improving any. And it took David Cutcliffe coming back in 2006 or 7 to kind of get us back on the discipline side of things. And it looks to me that's kind of like what we need now. And I think another thing Coach Fulmer did down the stretch that kind of made his bed, I guess, is not really changing any of his staff. And I know we're in the middle of the season. We don't want to do that right now, but it seems to me like he needs to have some staff changes where it's not necessarily people leaving us, but maybe Josh needs to make the decision because it's kind of that, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different change. It just, to me, it doesn't look that like we're doing anything to improve or to actually make any changes to where we've been screwing up. So I just wanted to bring that up since you brought up the whole part about us really not really changing any over the last 3 games or so. Actually, we've gotten worse, it looks like. And then just wanted to quickly say, Ben, welcome back. I'm glad you're finished with all your treatments and we can get you back on here mostly full-time. And I need to go back and listen to your whole Tony Vitello stuff because that's the thing that's been driving me crazy the most over the last, 4 days is trying to figure out what's going on there because I really don't want to lose him as a coach. And I understand that the MLB doesn't come around, but in my heart of hearts, I think Tony's a college coach, and I think he'd be making a mistake. And then the worst thing for me would be to see him come back and land in Arkansas in 3 years when Dave Van Horn retires, if he does do that. So, quick little comments. I know we're at the end of the show time, but I appreciate you taking my call, and I don't get a chance to call a lot because of what I do during the day, so I'm glad I had a chance to give you guys a shout.
Hey, thank you, Ricky B.
Good to hear from you, my friend.
they just haven't played well in the last 3 games. You survived and advanced against Mississippi State, against Arkansas, but you haven't been playing well for a couple of games straight. And remember 2016, Tennessee was putting the ball on the ground a lot, but not losing fumbles, and Tennessee was undefeated. It was 5-0 going into Texas A&M on the road. It's a primetime game, and it's a top 10 matchup. And the way we lost is because of fumbles. We played the same way we play in wins, but you never fixed it. And the same mistakes, the same shots in the foot, some of the same stuff with management of the clock. I mean, happened in Mississippi State and it happened against Alabama. So those are the things that have to be corrected. And we've seen Josh Heupel make adjustments before, folks. Like, we're having a level-headed conversation here. It ain't Saturday night right after the game. We've seen him make adjustments with how he's coached. We saw evolution of Josh Heupel on the road to Oklahoma last year. We saw him, and he's not a guy I don't think that's going to straight up fire a coach, but Coach Eckler ain't here. And if he wanted him back, I'm pretty sure he would be back, right, Ben?
Yes, that is correct.
So a change was made there. And then also a change was made with this offense and the passing offense of it. And so, like Mike Matthews, his drop, that was a different route that we haven't seen, we didn't see last year. The route was good. Everything was good except for the catch. So we've seen Josh Heupel make adjustments, and he's going to have to make adjustments short term this week, and then long term if he wants to get over the hump. There needs to be more investment on defense, more athletes in the secondary. The whole dynamic with the secondary and Boo Carter is weird. People see it. It was mentioned by Dustin. When Dustin barely could breathe on here, he was so fired up. I think that's who Dustin was referring to, and so, there's some things to address there, in the off season. But for now, it's really about.
But in the off season, it'll be too late. Like this, we saw this coming a mile down the road.
Well, I know we did, but like
he should not have been part of the team this year.
That's a good point, Ben.
I understand he's a heck of a talent. Like he had that pass breakup early in the game, and it's like, man, Boo Carter can be so good at football. What a play on third down to break the pass up. I think that was the 3-and-out that we talked about earlier in a tie game, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was on the drive where Alabama could have gone up 14-0, and they were around midfield and kind of driving a little bit, and Boo had that pass deflection on third down. And it's like, man, you see that and you see the talent, and then he just proceeds the rest of the game to frustrate you, because it does look like he's loafing out there. It does not look like he is playing hard. He should not have been on the team this year. We all saw this coming a mile away.
Not all of us. Some of us was on social media talking about some free Boo Carter and posting Boo Carter highlights from last year, and you know how it is. It got to be a good guy and got to be a bad guy. But I mean that's
so he's probably gone this offseason, and we can say, oh, they'll fix it this offseason. That's not okay, because you shouldn't have to be fixing it this upcoming offseason.
Well,
by default, because he goes somewhere else.
Yeah, you put yourself in this position to have to bring him back because you let Jacoby Thomas go, and you haven't recruited in that position as well as you need to, because you could have let Boo Carter go if you had some other guys that were capable and you trusted more. But he's on the team because you kind of need him. And it's impacted a little bit of what you've done there in the secondary. So there needs to just be an adjustment there with going out and being aggressive with guys that can cover in space, because you got to have athletes, man. Like, you, from an athletic standpoint, no one matched up with Bernard or Williams. Like, we just didn't. And that was something I knew there was going to be a problem if we didn't get to the quarterback. And it's another game where it's a big-time game on the road, and you got to get to the quarterback, and we didn't get a sack. We didn't get to him enough. So, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not trying to point the finger and fire folks and cut folks and do all that stuff. It's just kind of pointing out the obvious. And we'll see how this team responds against Kentucky. I do want to get to the Bates Chevrolet text box and read through some of our comments, because we do appreciate people throwing the comments on the message box for us and interacting during the show. We had a lot in the 8 to 9 o'clock hour, and actually missed a lot of the messages because it was so many of them. But Chip Payne just wants us to tackle better. Brian Hunsaker says, I see that Tony's buyout's $3 million. If he leaves, take that $3 million, promote and give Elander $1 million, take the other $2 million, and get more safety help out of the portal. Vol from Charlotte says 3rd and 10 is getting old. Man, you can blame the defense coordinator all day. And I mean, Tim, I don't think it was a good day for any coordinator, honestly. Whether Josh Heupel's calling plays or Halsey calling plays, like it just wasn't a good day for players or coaches. So everybody is accountable. Everyone should be held accountable. Everybody didn't do as much as they could have to win. Vol from Charlotte is not a big fan of the Carter effort. I mean, he mentioned it. Chip Payne says the offense shooting themselves in the foot. And we didn't go as fast as we could have went with our tempo. I think the defense being in the position that they're in is a big reason why we're not seeing the tempo as fast as it could have been on Saturday. Turkey Man says, Kentucky, Florida, and Vanderbilt, how you coach those games matter. Man, how you coach and play. I mean, if you're trying to get to the college football playoff, like, it's about playing better. Like, do we want to just get to the college football playoff and then get blown out in the first round like last year and say, hey guys, we got to the college football playoff? Like, are we trying to do that again? Or, like, are we trying to play better so that way when we get in there, we're doing something? Because this thing is wide open. There's one team out there that I think from a talent standpoint is superior to everybody else. I think everybody can beat anybody. So you get in there, anything can happen. It's about playing better. You got to play better against Kentucky. You got to play better against Florida. And if you don't play better against Oklahoma, man, that's an L if you don't play better. You don't play better against Vanderbilt at home, that's an L because them dudes are disciplined. People on the text box said that Dustin sound like Ricky Bobby. Audrey was worried about Dustin. Said he's about to have a stroke. But I appreciate the passion, though. Drew in Birmingham, back to Vitello because I couldn't message earlier. People are losing sight of how unprecedented this is. It's a big deal for MLB circles. Pat Murphy has done a good job with the Brewers from college, but it took him a long time as a pro assistant to get the manager job. This has never happened before. It might be the only chance Tony gets at this. I can't blame him or anyone at Tennessee if he goes. It's such a big deal that Baseball America did a pod a few weeks ago breaking down, his opportunity to be an MLB coach, and then another pod. It can change the baseball industry altogether. So, like, yeah, this is a big deal, and I just don't understand how anyone can be a Tennessee fan, do print media, radio media, any media, be a Tennessee fan, and fan the flames of if Tony leaves pulling out the pitchforks against Danny White. Like, Danny White hasn't orchestrated the best athletic department in the country. Like, make that make sense to me. That makes zero sense to me. Vol from Charlotte says Mike Matthews is the best safety on Tennessee's team. Mike Matthews is one of the best athletes on the team. So he's playing receiver. He'll be better at receiver. Would he be good at safety? Yeah, but he would be good at receiver. He can play next level at either position. He just has to lock in and focus, catch the ball. And if y'all put him at safety and he has the same lapse in focus, he's not going to make the play. So just because you move positions, because catching the ball is about focus. That's all it was. His eyes did not follow the ball. The ball was outside of his body. He was looking here, but the ball was here, and he dropped it. But if you put him at safety and he shows the same lapse in judgment, he's going to make the same mistake on defense. So moving him to safety, guys, is not like the answer. Now, a lot of DBs, they're there because they can't catch the ball. Mike can catch the ball. He just got to lock in, man. He'll be okay. I've seen this happen. Meacham dropped the ball like this in 2005, had LASIK surgery, and caught everything the next year and was a first-round pick. So Mike just needs to lock in on that football. He'll be okay. I think the O-line played like dog-s this weekend. They gave up a couple sacks. They could have played better, but Deshaun Bishop was great too, running the football. So we better execute this weekend and beat Kentucky by more than 10. Yeah, 100%. All right, Ben. Anything you think we missed? Anything we need to add before we wrap up today's show?
I think we covered it all the best that we could.
Woo, Ben. Good luck, sir.
Good luck with what?
Good luck covering Tennessee baseball. Tony Vitello. Any idea of when we're going to hear something? Today,
no.
Tomorrow?
No. Soon, I think. People close to people close to Tony thought a decision could be made Friday night. Then they thought it could be on Monday, Sunday night into Monday, and here we are on Tuesday without a decision. So I think part of that is the Giants getting back to Tony. But once that happens, which did not happen yesterday, then at least as of last night, then I think we'll get a decision that is made. So it could be here in 5 minutes. It could be tomorrow, but I'm sure it'll happen here in the coming days at worst, I guess.
Hey, man, it's part of it when you have one of the best coaches in the country, arguably the best coach. This ain't the first time that somebody's wanting to hire Tony Vitello or interested in hire Tony Vitello, and this won't be the last. So, get used to it. Here it is. It's happened with Rick Barnes, a couple times with Tony Vitello. I doubt it happens with Caldwell because I don't know what jobs is better than Tennessee that be worth moving. And then, for Josh Heupel, there's only a few jobs out there that's better than Tennessee, but Heupel got some more winning to do before we get to that point. So it happens, man, when you have good coaches. It's just part of it. And we'll do this again on Thursday. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. My man Ben McKee, glad to have you back. I know Jennifer Morris was wishing that you got back as soon as possible. I know she's happy that you're back. Keller Williams Realty, helping people buy, invest, and sell their properties. She's working with UT athletes. She can work with you. And big shout out to Jennifer Morris with Keller Williams Realty. All right, Ben, go get some rest, man.
Thank you, sir. Enjoy your week. I'll talk to you Thursday.
Go call Tony Vitello, see what's going on. All right, man. We'll talk to you later. Peace and love. Swain Event fueled by Dead End Barbecue. We are out.